Welcome back to another Workshop Wednesday. We are all amped up on the summit. So we're so excited to be back with you today. I know you missed us last week, but Dawn, we just couldn't make it happen last Wednesday when I got in for summit. There was just a lot going on. So we figured for those of you who did not get to go, we were going to do some highlights for you today. And so Dawn, I know that you've been coming to Summit for a hot minute, but never worked Summit. So share with everyone. Maybe let's start with how you loved coming to Summit and then maybe what the differences were.
Yeah, we'll start there. I have so much to offer. I just talked to an owner today and I loved coming to Summit. And I think I shared that because by November, you've gone through the year and you're trying to get all your year-end stuff ready, your numbers ready, finish out your clients. My clients were really pushing me because the holidays were coming. We need our house ready. We need all the contractors gone. You want to talk about pressure. The pressure was on by November. So I would just feel drained. Like if I had a tank, my tank was on really, really low or empty sometimes. And Summit, even this year working it, but Summit fills your tank and it shows you you're not alone. And it doesn't give you, here's the thing, it doesn't give you all the answers, but it gives you the map and it gives you the direction. And if you don't exert and begin to introduce yourself to people, then you're not doing yourself any favors. But when you begin to meet people, then all of a sudden you're going to get those answers throughout the whole next year. And I really push that from the stage. I had to learn that. If you're an introvert, you got to pull that extrovert out and you got to meet people because you're not alone. And so if you didn't get your answer at Summit, you were going to meet somebody that has the answer in their back pocket. And that's what I loved about coming as a business owner. And then a twofold to that is when I finally had a team to bring, I loved it. And I just shared with another owner I spoke with this week who said, she said I could have left after the warehouse tour because Jana nailed it when she told the team that you have to allow your business owner to step out of the business to continue to grow and build, because guess who they're bringing with you? They're bringing you. So my team, I can speak from personal experience. My team always felt humble and grateful that I included them into something that meant so much to me. It's almost like when you're dating somebody and you bring them home to meet the parents, then you know, like this is the real deal. This is more than just a date or more than just fun. This is somebody that I can see us building something together. That's my analogy. When I brought my team, they knew that I was investing in them because I believed in them and I believed they could help me and I could help them. And in turn, we could make Dawn's Designs a great thing. And we did. We grew. Without HSRA, I would not have gone from a solopreneur to a team of 6 people. I mean, it would not have happened. And so that's from the business owner side, totally hands down, worth every penny of it. Now, from the employee side, now I work with HSRA and I have the utmost respect for Lori and Jill. I cannot tell you guys enough. I It was mind blowing to me, and I even confessed to Lori I was so confused at times because I don't even know how she did all the things. I just was trying to process it all, and all the work that goes into all of the things that happens at Summit. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress, and then we get to sit back and we get to watch everybody benefit from how much we love them and how much we believe in them was worth every penny. But yeah, it's a whole different ball game when working. Working the backside of Summit it's a whole different ball game, but it's worth every penny. It's
Yeah.
worth every amount of time I spent.
The electricity and the air and the vibes starting from our warehouse tour. I was just working with one of our staff members on our recap for our warehouse tour, and just the vibe there and listening to the testimonies from the warehouse tour, people being able to go in, look around, touch, feel. One of the members said, it's so refreshing to know that you can come somewhere with like fellow staging business owners, knowing that you all do this similar thing, but in a slightly different way. That one little adjustment could totally change your business. And so I think that the opportunity to do that, I think not enough people do it. Like, not enough people are able to come and be part of it. But don't worry, because we have a recap video coming out. And I saw one picture of you talking to one of our new members, and just the expression even on your face as you're talking to her and giving these aha moments where their light bulbs are going off and they're like, oh, I can do this. And then being able to talk to the staff at Model My Home. And so they just had a rebrand that they're about to go through. It's now Model Properties brand. So on top of just the amazing warehouse tour, speaking with the staff, being able to ask questions, they were also able to see how that company is rebranding to scale the business. And so what was your favorite part of the warehouse tour, Dawn?
So I'm giving a huge shout out, not from the HSRA side, from a business owner side. I was so impressed from day one, when I walked into HSRA, or Model My Home. I'm sorry. They welcomed me. They gave me a tour. They were like, get coffee, get snacks. We'll find you a spot to sit in. They made me feel at home, and they'd never met me in person. They've only seen me on Zoom. And they were just so loving towards me. And then my favorite part, which our poor VA is going to get so many pictures from me. They're coming. I got to do a whole day with one of our stagers, Caitlin from Model My Home. And when I watched the logistics team, I watched everything from pulling to moving to staging, and then all the way up to her taking a video at the end. I cannot tell you how impressed I was with this team. I am not just saying this because I work there. I am 100% from a business owner. I even threatened Caitlin. I said, if I had my own business, you'd have to call your boyfriend to come and get you, because I'd probably kidnap you. They were so good, and they were professional, and I cannot compliment them enough. And so my favorite part of the warehouse tour was being able to see them in their moment. They had their spotlight. They were able to share with owners what they do, why they do it, how they do it. And it was like, again, a proud parent sitting back and watching their child graduate to something. That's how I felt watching them. I got to see them at their best, and I got to see them in the middle of a job, and they still impressed me 110%. I sent them a card this week, and I just said, you guys don't stop what you're doing, because you're amazing. From a business owner standpoint, hands down, I was so impressed, and they were on top of it. So Jana, I don't know if she'll listen to this, but she should be proud, because it was awesome.
I know she is. She's super proud of them. And that reminds me, we did some post-event surveys from our attendees. And one of them really, she put on her post-event, says, the question was, what was your favorite experience? And she's like, mine was actually pre-summit. Walking into the warehouse and being greeted warmly by name, like I was a friend arriving to a reunion. It makes me feel so welcome and set the tone for the whole weekend. And so that's really what we do strive to do at HSRA. We know business owners are busy and they've got things, but when we do have, when they're accessible for us, that's what we do. We pour on the love, the warmth, the encouragement as much as we can. So that definitely goes along with what you said, Dawn. And then One of my favorite things that we did that we haven't done before was the VIP party. That was pretty legit and epic. I'm sure everyone's seen some of our 360 photo booth photos. It was just a great way to re engage with our staging community, to see people we haven't seen in so long, not just to have, great conversations and networking, but actually do a fun activity like the 360 booth. Don, I think you're in like 20 of them. So it was so fun and amazing. Do you have a big takeaway from the VIP networking event?
I agree. I think I pulled so many people into it, and that's, you just said it. So the photo booth was the talk of the night. It was the hit of the night. But what it did was it allowed me to pull somebody in that I haven't seen in sometimes almost 2 years for some of them because of COVID. I said, I've missed you. Come on, we're going to go dance and we're going to go take our picture. And it just broke ground. It broke all of the awkwardness out of the room. People were, then they were on, there was a line at the photo booth, and everybody kept watching for their turn, and they would grab somebody else to go do it. And so we had our speakers there. I got to meet Zach Beach. I got to meet Jedediah. I got to meet Jeremy and his beautiful wife. I got to meet so many people at the VIP party that I probably, because of being in different classes or breakout sessions, I wouldn't have had a chance to just have a one-on-one conversation with. The VIP party was worth every penny. I mean, it was worth every cent, every amount of time that we put into it. And then the photo booth, just getting people to try it out it was so much fun. And then watching them smile and dance and break out of their awkward little zone, and they're like, it was priceless. That was the best yet. Yes. Oh, unmute.
I definitely think the cash bar had something to do with it. But I think my favorite moment was when Janet and Sharon Lecter got in the 360 booth, and the two of them dancing together was so fun and so epic. We had live music. It was just a fantastic time of reconnection after, the 2 years of the pandemic, and people really are starting to come back alive. And so fast forward to the next morning, we kicked off Summit. It was amazing. We had some incredible speakers on day one, great content. Now, we did mix in a little bit of outsiders, and we weren't sure moving into how they would be received. But guess what? They were received so well, and we literally connected so many people to their next journey in their staging business. And so, we had people that are multifamily investors. We had real estate agents on stage. We had STR specialists on stage on top of our staging family. And it really opened people's minds to what can they do next with their staging business? How can they transition into their next? And so for me, I feel like on day one, my favorite was probably Lisa Copeland. And she talked about creating wealth and having the was it FUM, the fume, right? And so you will have to watch that session if you got the virtual ticket. But it was just amazing. It was she was talking about how you can have FU money, right? So it could be fun money, it could be FU money, I don't know, but it was very powerful. And so many people on our survey really did like mention Lisa's talk. And one particular person said for Lisa that amateur hour is over. No more. We can no longer see the staging, and we've been screaming this from the mountaintops forever. We can no longer see staging as just a side hustle and not something that's actual amateur. We are legitimate staging and design company. So what was one of your big takeaways from day one?
I think well, you just took it. I loved Lisa. I actually loved listening to Lisa. I was in and out working with our sponsors, but my my takeaway from day one from the member side, I loved our speakers, although I only got to hear bits and pieces. I can't wait to go back and listen to the recap because I want to hear it all. I want to hear everything. So my favorite thing from day one is at the end of day one, I actually had from a 9-day challenge that Jana did, I had about 4 stagers, brand new to HSRA, had never been connected to us, came through Jana's 9-day challenge that she offered for free that we did. And I told them, I'm not going to know your face. I've only talked to you on the phone. Come find me and come say hi. And at the end of the day, they were all coming up to me and they were like, this was the best investment ever. And I'm like, just wait. You're going to get more tomorrow. It's going to be great. Again, we don't have all the answers, but that's a part of becoming a part of our family, right? You're going to ask those questions throughout the year. So you may not have got everything that you needed in one summit, but you got everybody that you needed to see, to meet, and to talk to so that you can, throughout all of 2023, join our family and ask those questions. And I make sure that I connect you to that right person to get those answers. That's my job. And it was an honor. It was almost, again, the proud parent moment of, I promised you this. You came to me and you said, you definitely gave me exactly what you said you would give me. And I can't wait until tomorrow. And you said it, Lori, they hadn't even thought about their mind was just a one track staging design. And they hadn't even thought about what Jana said, real estate. We don't have to like it, but we are a real estate industry. We work with agents. We work with the investing side of things. And no matter where you're at, if you want to stay where you're at, great. We're here. We're your cheerleaders. But if you're ready to think bigger, then this is the place. This is the room. And she's setting us up for great things. I'm already excited for next year. I know, we've been talking because we're on fire. We're ready. We're already ready to start planning for next year. And I already got my list going. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was so good. And then that night we had some people up to the penthouse. That was a fun and very lively event. I'll tell you, my room was actually next door to Jana's. And so I tried to cut out early, but the party kept going. Let me tell you, it was amazing, just the networking. And what I loved about it was, it wasn't just the stagers and designers. The people that were up there networking were, real estate investors. They were all up there having conversation, learning from each other. They were playing pool. They were laughing. It just sounded, and it was so amazing to see everyone smile in their face and just everything that happened. And then, of course, day 2 kicked off. Super amazing. I really enjoyed. Of course, I loved our keynote speaker, Sharon Lechter. But I really enjoyed hearing Jana talking about the next steps, business without you. And she really dug in and shared with everyone a little bit of her process, starting as a stager, having no help, creating Model My Home with her best friend, Heather, taking stuff out of their house to stage, getting the first warehouse, then the second warehouse, then the third warehouse, and then being completely exhausted in that time and wanting out, but not wanting to leave the business, and how she would transition. And then she started HSRA to dedicate everything that she learned from building her own business to our members. And then now we're about 12 years in an HSRA, and now she's transitioning into investing in multifamily. But she never leaves anything specific behind. She didn't leave Model My Home behind. She didn't leave HSRA behind. What she does is she goes out and gets the information. She feeds it back to us. And so I love that she was able to share her story. You could just see business owners' light bulbs. Like, if Jana can do it, I can do it. I'm super excited. And so it was an amazing turnout. Justin Nelson was also phenomenal. He took a panel of 5 people, and he just kind of had rapid fire with them. Like, what's your biggest hurdle? Why aren't you doing this? And he was just back and forth with them. And I know that those people received such value from that. What was some of your favorite highlights from day 2?
I loved it when Justin had the panel up there. That was funny. So one funny story is I loved hearing Jana speak, but I loved it when her pastor Dusty made a video. I got to listen to him speak in person. Was it 3 years ago, maybe at Summit? I've always loved him since, and he told the story about Jana, and he always has something great to say. I love him. He's very inspirational. But he told the story about Jana wanting him literally, like seconds before it was his time on stage. He told Jana that, or Jana told him he had to dance, and he was like, yeah, I don't know about this. It was hilarious the way that he put it, the way that he was like, clearly I'm the white guy, and you're telling me I've got to dance down the stage or dance on the stage. And then he said he's still in therapy for it. So I love that he was real and that he's raw, but he's also inspirational. And that meant a lot to me too. So that was one of my funniest things that I got to take away. So along with the serious and the build, we also just have those lighthearted moments and the real moments of this is what's really happening behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, we love Jana and we love her heart. And you said it, her heart hasn't changed. It still remains the same. She may have moved, she may have gone on to bigger things with investing, but it doesn't mean it's better. What it means is that she's gone on to bigger things with the investment side, but her heart is still very much here too with the staging and with the design. And she has been adamant with our staff that she still wants us to very much have that as a part of the summit and the exchange. And you know me, because I did staging and design. That's why I'm here, but that is why I have the utmost respect for her too. So
yeah. So good. And on day 2, we released and offered our special brand new, hot off the press 12-month coaching program to those who attended. We have 3 different levels. We only have a certain amount of spaces, and we do have just a couple more. So I definitely want to encourage you guys. We'll put it in the chat, the link. It's staginganddesignalliance.com/program. But we are now launching, going into 2023, an opportunity to have hands-on accountability for your staging business. So what that looks like, first, you have to determine what stage of your business you're in. Secondly, you're going to get tons of benefits and resources to help you. But the biggest thing that you're going to get is accountability coaches. So you're literally going to be meeting with successful staging and design business owners. And we even have a phase that's for people who are ready to invest. In fact, yesterday, we put out a call for everyone that signed up at Summit. There's already a call for properties, and they're inviting people in to invest. And so that was really exciting to see the action taken immediately. And that just speaks to what Jana's been doing and building up for so long, that there are staging and design business owners that are in a place in their business where they're ready to transition and do something else, but still have their staging business. And so we'll put that link in there. We literally only have so many coaches, so we can only assign so many people to our coaches, but we definitely want to offer this to our community as well. I think we have probably less than 10 spots left because we first gave it to the people at Summit and we had a huge response. The biggest response we've ever had for any product launch at HSRA and at Summit. So if you're interested in that, let us know. And then the next day we had a mastermind. Dawn and I had a mastermind at the Model My Home. That was really good. A small group of people just getting together to strategize what they're going to do for 2023. And so, Dawn, what was your big takeaway from either day 2 or from the strategy?
So I'm going to jump to the strategy. I've been a part of Mastermind, but here's the thing that I love about them is when you put yourself in a smaller room at the end of Summit, you've built relationships, you've met people, they kind of know already after 2 days of Summit. They're like, I think this is where I want to go next. And now we're in a room and we're setting strategies. We don't have to call anybody out on things they may not necessarily doing wrong, but things that they're doing that's not helping, but maybe hurting the business. The mastermind is where they start to call themselves out. At the end of summit, they recognize I might not have been doing this right. And here's what I need to do next. And here's the beautiful thing about mastermind is it's a small, intimate group. And when you're in a smaller, intimate group, then things start to happen and people start to get really vulnerable and they start to get real and raw. But what I loved is that when somebody got vulnerable and they got raw and they said, here's where I'm struggling, but this is where I know I need to go. Somebody across the room inevitably said, I was there. Let me tell you what I did. And then somebody else across the room, I was there. Let me tell you what I did. So again, it's more of that intimate time with a smaller set of business owners that you can really bring some value to your business if you're in there. I love that Daniel had us do a few little team building exercises. Again, breaking the ice. Even though we know each other, we just spent 2 days together. You're in a room now. Again, it's more intimate. We got to break some ice and we got to get people ready to truly mastermind. The entire purpose of it is to come as you are and to be real and to be honest and to say, I'm here because I'm trusting you as business owners, as a team, to tell me where do you think I should go next? Because this is what I have as part of my plan. And it was received well by everybody. Everybody respects and appreciates all the valuable advice that everybody gave to each other. And it's a very humbling and a very cool experience to sit in a mastermind with some brilliant, very, very dedicated and determined leaders.
Yeah, for sure. And we do have a staging and design mastermind coming up in Tampa in December. And I think what it is too is it's like one thing to talk about or ask questions at an event where there's a couple hundred people there. But when there's just 15, 20 people in a room, you can be more vulnerable. There was definitely tears shed at our mastermind. Some of the people that attended our mastermind, they're really facing some very scary and hard things in their life. And for us to be able to provide a safe space for them to talk through that, to improve the next quality of their life, of their business, to help them figure things out, that's a blessing to us. Like, we do not take that lightly, and we're so thankful for it. And it's really why we do what we do at HSRA. Everything we do, we do not create modules and jump on here just to hear our voices. I think Dawn and I probably both hate our own voices. Like, that's the last thing you want to hear. Like, after this is done being live, I never, ever, ever, ever go back and watch it, right? So we do it to help you grow, to answer questions that you might have. So rounding out today's hour or half hour, Dawn, what's something you want people who's watching this right now to know moving into the end of the year and into the new year?
I think my biggest thing is to not, again, we're in November and I get the pressures on. Some people achieve their goals and exceeded their goals. Some people may not have met their goals. So it can either go from burnout to on one side of the spectrum to just a disheartening and deflated feeling on the opposite side of the spectrum. I said it before, I'll say it again. You're not alone. When you're part of HSRA, this is why we exist. You're not alone, and we're going to help you next year, next season, next quarter. We're going to help you get to those goals. The one thing that was humbling for me at Mastermind, and I'll end with this, is not realizing that one of the members had gone through cancer, had chemo, and she was telling me while she was on chemo, something happened and somebody couldn't go stage a couple of houses that day. So she was like, I'm not very tired today. I'm going to go stage these houses. And she did. She still was, she's on chemo and she's in a home staging. And I think she said it. She needed it. She needed to know she could still do it. But at the end of the day, I think the message is this was her purpose. And she could not, even chemo, even cancer is not, if cancer is not going to stop somebody from fulfilling their purpose, don't let the deflation of numbers, not reaching your goals, and or being tired be a factor. You have a purpose. Remain in your purpose. We are here If you need somebody to talk to get to that next level, obviously let us know. But it was very humbling for me, and I have such a huge respect for her now. I did not know that about her, and it just goes to show me that when God has a purpose for somebody, nothing can stand in their way. So it was awesome.
Love it. All right. Well, we are going to wrap for today. We're going to be back next week with some fun topics. We cannot wait. If you have any questions for us, put them in the chat. We're on here all the time. We see your questions. We're here for you, and we will see you next week. Bye.